If you can't afford Autotune, Serum, RC20, or the infamous FabFilter Pro Q3, well, don't waste your time installing dodgy viruses and crap plugins. And instead watch this video so you can see which free alternatives are available, which you can download today. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Fabio here from Noize, hosting at Boombox, the home of collaboration. Now in the studio, there's nothing better than a healthy computer and a healthy bank account. So today, not only am I gonna show you how to recreate the infamous RC20, but I've even included 3 bonus plugins, so make sure you watch until the end of the video. Now, if you're looking for an alternative for Antares Autotune, Auburn Sounds has created something called the Grayan 2, and you can't access all the parameters with the free version, but the parameters that you can access are great. So you've got this pitch correction section here. Now the vocal that I'm using is already tuned quite well. So I'm gonna show you some of the other areas of this plugin that I really like. But before I get started, let me play the vocal.
I'll let you get to me once now, baby, but I'll never let you win again.
So you can already hear it doing some of the work there, but what I really like about this plugin is the pitch shift section, which also has a preserve formant section, which allows you to make these really cool vocal style effects. Check it out.
Let you get to me once now, baby,
but I'll never let you win again. I'll let you get to me once now, baby, but I'll never let you win again.
You do also have chromatic pitch correction, which can be enabled with this fader here, and you can make it sound smoother and more human with this smooth dial here.
I'll let you get to me once now, baby, but I'll never let you win again.
I'll let you get to me once now, baby, but I'll never let you win again.
But you can also do harmonies with this. So if I bring this down to -7, and that means I'm dropping it a fifth, or I'm creating a fifth, the octave underneath, I can then re-add my dry mix in here.
I'll let you get to me once now, baby, but I'll never let you win again.
Now, a lot of you know and love Serum by Exfer. It's easy to use, very visual, and has quickly become one of the most popular plugins on the market. However, there is a free alternative called Vital, which sounds and looks just as good. That's just the basic initialize patch with a few tweaks. And just like Serum, it's got a whole effects section, a matrix, and has exactly the same visual elements as Serum. Anything that you set up in the modulation matrix shows up on the ADSR, the filter, the LFO, and so on. I also made this really cool ARP in a matter of seconds using the white noise and the flange scrowl waveform. There are also some incredible sounding pre-made presets. Including one of my favorites, which is this telephone dial and ringtone. Hi, is that Exfer? Yeah, I'd like a refund, please. RC20 by XLN has quickly become renowned as the lo-fi tool. It's what everyone uses in hip-hop to degrade the signal and give it that vintage feel. And that's because you have everything in one place. However, it does cost $100, and I want to show you how to get each of these parameters here, so the noise, wobble, distort, digital, space, magnetic, and even the filter for free, just by setting up your own effects chain really quickly and for $0. First, let's take a listen to the melody that we're going to be affecting. So some of the main sections from RC20, that includes the noise, the wobble, and the magnetic, can actually all be replicated with isotope vinyl. Now, my favorite parameter in isotope vinyl is the warp. So we're going to start with that, which is the wobble. And this is pitch modulation. But it doesn't just stop here. You have the warp, you have the model of warp, and then you also have the rotations per minute. So let's increase that so you can hear what's going on. Now, the rotations per minute are how quickly this vinyl is spinning around. So think of it as an LFO tool. If the LFO is cycling at a certain rate, well, we can actually slow that down or speed that up. If you're looking for additional wear and filtering, well, you have the different years up here, which seem to apply sort of high pass and low pass to the signal, and then the wear adds this kind of filtered distortion. Now let's come back to the first section of the RC20, which is basically this mechanical and electrical section where we can add a bunch of noise if we want to. Now, I don't particularly like adding noise. I think it sounds messy, but if you're looking for that mechanical tone to be added to the background of your sound, then this is what you want to increase. The magnetic section at the end of the RC20 is similar to what the dust and scratch section is doing. The distortion section of the RC20 has a few options, and so I've decided to include a couple of distortion units, both by Analog Obsessions, which I am slightly obsessed with. After the distortion section, we are presented with digital, which is a bit crusher. Now, every DAW has a very comprehensive bit crusher. I don't actually think you need to go and download a third-party software for this. The Logic one is amazing. And what you want to be using is the resolution and the downsampling. So I always have it set at 12-bit, and then I increase the downsampling, which gives that nice bit-crushed fizzy effect. After the bit crusher, we have space, which is a reverb, and I've opted for the Voxengo Old School Verb. Now, this looks like something out of the 90s, and it kind of sounds like something out of the 90s, and that's why I like it. It's not the most perfect, polished reverb, but it sounds really, really cool, and I was looking for something vintage, so old school verbs seem to make sense. The RC20 does finish off with a filter and gain, which we have seen in the isotope vinyl through using the different years to set these filters, but I thought I would include one anyway. Now, this filter is by BPB, which is Bedroom Producers Blog. And what's nice about this is you've got different slopes. You've got a high pass filter, a low pass filter, and a drive section if you want to add even more saturation. So let's do a quick before and after and listen to the original dry signal and then the signal with all those added effects that are replicating the RC20 by XLN. Do you really need to be spending $100 when you could just throw these on? Now, the Pro Q3 is an amazing EQ, there is no doubt about it, but again, it's very expensive. Luckily for us, Tokyo Dawn Records has made the Nova, which is not only a great EQ, but has dynamic features too, just like the Pro Q3. So I'm just going to quickly dial in some EQ here on these drums that I've created. Now, if I want, I can take this band here, which is number 2, turn on the threshold, and all of a sudden I have a dynamic EQ, which is exactly what you can do in the Pro Q3. And I can just bring this threshold down. And what we can do is get this band here. Let's also increase the Q, so we'll make it more narrow. We'll get it to compress or react to bring the volume down of the clap. It sounds smooth, it looks great, it's easy to use, and it'll save you a bit of cash. Well done to those of you who made it to this part of the video so you can check out the bonus plugins and tools that I want to share with you. A lot of us out there do use Dropbox, which comes with 2 gigabytes of free storage, but it's not really designed for musicians, is it? Now, Boombox is a much better version of Dropbox, specifically made for musicians. You can leave timestamp feedback, add collaborators, and that feedback doesn't just have to be written. It can also be as a voice memo, so you can sing your melodies and tell people exactly what changes you need and where. Plus, it's got really good versionings. It also has song splits and legally legit contracts. Plus, it's got double the amount of storage that Dropbox offers for free. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking for an alternative to Monarch, then click on the link above where I show you an amazing bass synthesizer, which I think is even better than this. And last but not least, the beloved 1176, which sounds great on a range of instruments, including drums and vocals. The free version, no surprises, is made again by Analog Obsession, and it's called Fetish. What makes this even better is you have a whole sidechain section where you can filter out certain frequencies, and it's got a dry, wet mix knob, which not all 1176 clones do have. So forget cracking your plugins, save a bunch of money, and go check all of these out. If you want to download them today, go to the description below where I've left links to all of these plugins. And don't forget to comment down below with what your favorite free plugin is for the chance to win $500. Thank you for coming to the home of collaboration with me, Fabio from Noize, and I'll see you very soon. Peace!